It's all about the iPhone 12. I mean, it just continues. It goes on and on. It's almost like the iPhone gets a whole month.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's not just after it or the week of launch. It's before the launch. You know what? It's all year long.
Yeah.
With the leaks and rumors and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It starts. People are already talking about leaks with the iPhone 13.
Mm. Yeah.
iPhone 13. Meanwhile, it's become sort of a meme. The people that are frustrated with the frequency of releases, they say, are we on the iPhone 12 already? Are we talking 13 already? Let me enjoy my thing over here. Because a lot of people picked up, let's say, even an iPhone 11 not that long ago. We sell it for the whole year.
Yeah.
And they pay full pop. Anyway, so we got all the videos they're hitting. I think we're going to have another video on Friday. Maybe Friday evening. I don't know. We've had the unboxing videos. I mean, we put out the video on all the cases and accessories. We put out a video on the magnetic charger. And now, on top of that, we have our very first teardown video. Because that's how it goes, Will. When we inspect these gadgets. Inspector gadget. You go from the leaks and rumors to the event recap, to the unboxing video, to the teardown video.
Yeah.
We just have to have it all, don't we?
Yes.
We don't know where to stop, do we?
Nope.
So here you have the first teardown video. It shows just how thin the iPhone 12 is, how Apple made it so much thinner and lighter. And it exposed certain things. Things were exposed, including that battery, which people were curious about that official capacity. And certainly, as they dove in there, they discovered it was, in fact, 2815. Confirmation of the 2815 milliamp hour battery capacity. And it also exposed some details on that MagSafe system inside the device. Those are those magnets that you're skeptical about, Mr. Willie Doo. Now, there's an emphasis on thinness. This is up for a little bit of discussion, I would say. Because, obviously, the thinner you go, Will, the less room you have inside.
Yes, that's how physics work, right?
Yeah, it works something like that.
Okay.
And so, people loved the battery life on the previous generation iPhone, particularly the Max model, things like this. Some of the best performance out there in terms of battery life. And there's been maybe a slight sacrifice on battery life if there's one thing you could point at. And the contributing factor there is just having less space to work with, potentially. So, anyway, you get a closer glimpse at the parameters with which Apple was working within here to manufacture this thing. They had to shrink all kinds of components in there to make everything fit. It might be partially to blame as well for the discrepancy now between the Pro model and the Pro Max model, having a different spec list. Which in the past, it was really just scale and battery life. And everything else was the same. But now, you have different camera components. I was looking at the spec even deeper the other day. Maybe it was yesterday, I don't know. And even the zoom lens has a different aperture. On the Max it's like,
they're
wow,
always tweaking.
We really got to go in there and see the difference between the two now, because there are differences. And it's no longer just a question of scale, which it always has been up until this point. So you're going to have to do a little bit of a deeper dive to figure out which model is right for you. However, we know that Willie Doo is saving the two bills most of the time.
With the iPhone 12.
Yeah, he just goes for the straight 12. So you can just forget about all the Pro Max differences and the whole investigation, and you can just take Willie Doo's advice. And if you're in the market for an iPhone, you can just get the regular 12. Apple touts the iPhone 12 is 11% thinner, 15% smaller, and 16% lighter than the previous version. 16% lighter. It's interesting. The previous model was one of the heavier phones. However, they are saying iPhone 12. They're not talking about the Pro model, and the iPhone 12 uses different construction material, lighter material. So, anyway, it's a cool little peek for you if you want to see, if you're one of these people and you want to take a look. You're showing off the magnets there. Interesting little infinite loop of magnets just like the HQ.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's by accident,
No, it all comes together.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Infinity.
It always does.
Apple, infinity. Get you thinking, doesn't it? Well, we got a sponsor today. It's going to be HelloFresh, ladies and gentlemen. I got to apologize to all of you. I'm sorry to say it, but your meals at home, they're not cutting it. You can't just, how many grilled cheese can you have? It's not nutritious, right? And at a point, it's not even delicious anymore because the monotony of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part, man, particularly right now, where you may cut back on the restaurants and things like this, and you're at home. And you don't have that variety you would have had if you were heading out to the restaurants or chilling with your pals on a more frequent basis and having a little potluck.
Yeah.
You
Or
ever
the
had
freshness.
You ever had a potluck?
Of course. I'm Chinese. Of course. Yeah.
Hey, man, you don't have to yell at me.
Yeah. Well.
Talking about a good time in another year, a different era.
Yeah.
An
The
era
good old
of
days.
congregating and celebrating. We'll get back there one day.
Yeah. One day.
In the meantime,
We'll have some
and
hot pot.
forever, here is the easiest way to improve the caliber of food that you're eating at home with very little thought process. You can't screw this up. This is so easy, Will. HelloFresh, the box comes to the door. I told you I had the burgers the other day.
Yes.
The box comes to the door. It's all mapped out. You got the instructions, and you can put these things together, in a couple of minutes. I don't know what they say. Maybe they say 15 or 20, but you can put it together in a couple of minutes, under 30. 30 minutes, it's nothing once you look at what you put together.
Yeah.
And you see the dish, the gourmet dish, and you can't believe you made it. I mean, it could be the Firehouse cheeseburgers. Those come with crispy fried onions, garlic potato wedges, and creamy ranch sauce. It could be the firecracker meatballs with roasted green beans, jasmine rice. And you look at these ingredients that you would never pick up yourself, like the ginger and the things like this. Well, maybe a guy like Willie Do would, but for somebody like me, these type of flavors, I got to have it come in the box with the instruction.
Well, the problem is you buy in bulk. But with this, you can, it's a la carte.
You get the right amount for the
Yes.
job, but I love the
Yes.
right tool for the job, Will.
Absolutely.
So you can get different plans. You can get the family plan. You can get a smaller plan, depending on how many people you have in the house. We got a deal for you, obviously, because there's a sponsor of the show, so there's a deal for you as well. Just to recap, you're going to save a bunch of time. You're going to catch the variety, which for me, that's the main thing. The ingredients is all sustainably sourced. It's flexible, so you can hand select the meals that you like. You can skip the ones that you don't. It's quite easy to navigate. And as you know, I've been a user of this product for a long period of time now, and my experience has been top notch. All right, it's a top notch experience. You can have the same experience right now as a listener or viewer of this show. All you have to do is go to hellofresh.com/LouLater80 and use the code LouLater80 to get a total of $80 off across 5 boxes, including free shipping on your first box. Once again, that's hellofresh.com/LouLater80 and then use the code LouLater80. It gets you $80 off, and it also lets them know that we sent you, which then helps us do this show right here. So you better head over, get yourself a smokehouse pulled chicken bowl or Louisiana-style red beans and rice. It's up to you. You take a peek around, pick and choose, upgrade what you're doing in your kitchen without the headache. Do it the smart way. It's HelloFresh.
Shout out.
There you go. You sent this story over to me. You said, hey, Lou, you know what it takes to get hired by Mr. Tim Cook? And I said, no, I have no idea. I could never meet that criteria. Tim and me, we got a long history. There's nothing I could say at this time. Or maybe I could. We had a famous Photoshop where Tim and we were doing a fist bump no, maybe it was a high five or something. I don't remember.
High five.
But it was a wonderful Photoshop that Fotis put together. Willie D's going to try to find, but there's no chance. He's too slow. It's too late. I'm moving on.
There's one right here.
Oh yeah, that was me and Tim chilling on the couch.
Hold on.
This is
there's
one.
another one.
This is Fotis's favorite Photoshop combo is me and Tim.
Yes.
But I always have the open invitation to Tim. He wants to come on the show, explain himself. He wants to send an early access iPhone or do anything like that. It's an open invitation to Tim on this show. Anyway, these are the job qualities, the qualities that Tim looks for in job candidates. And you want to get hired to work at Apple. That's terrifying, by the way, what you're showing off right now.
Shout out Fotis.
And these are not all that surprising, but you might be interested because these are kind of qualities, to be honest, in this list that are kind of useful regardless if you want to work for Apple or work anywhere, particularly in a technology company. Are you intent on shaping your world? How about that for question one? You come into the job interview. Guy like you really do.
Oh, I just walk right out.
Yeah, Tim hits you with that. You sip your coffee and you bounce. Consider whether you are complacent with the way things are or whether you have a restless mind that wants to shape the world around you. I don't know that I would call it restless, but this is a philosophical question. Mm-hmm. Well, is the world what it is? Is the world happening to you or are you happening to the world? You see, this is a key. It's almost less about which you believe to be true, and the more important part is which you perceive yourself to be functioning within. In other words, which one you're participating in. You could be like, man, I don't really know. Maybe the world is happening to me, this whole thing. I mean, it's all so complicated. It's fine. You could believe that. Mm-hmm. But if you participate in the one where your action makes a difference, where you do feel that you can shape certain things, well, obviously in that environment, you would likely have more potential upside.
Yes.
Because you're interacting with the tools in a more, with a greater sense of optimism about the impact that interacting with those tools might have, whatever they happen to be. So anyways, that's question number one. Are you willing to take risks? And this talks a little bit about Tim himself. Tim was actually at Compaq. Remember the old computer company?
Yep.
They don't exist anymore. I think HP bought them and then they evaporated. At the time, they were like number one in PCs. Apple, you're crazy. Why'd you go work for Apple? Tim himself, he spoke to a bunch of friends, CEO types, because he had a high position. They say, you're crazy, man. What you trying to do? This is Compaq. Mm-hmm. Tim was like, I don't know, those Apple guys, this Steve Jobs guy, he's got something going on. I talked to him. He seems interesting. I don't know. So he goes and he takes the risk. And the same thing works once you have a job, that if you see a problem with something, it may be risky for you to attempt to fix it because somebody might get offended or somebody might say, hey, man, stop what are you doing riling up all those feathers? Mm-hmm. But in reality, if you can see a spot that you can make an improvement, then it's going to have an impact on the whole company and the progress, and it probably should be brought to light. So you got to take some risk, calculated risk. Do you have faith in the future? I mean, that's just, are you optimistic in general?
Yeah.
I would say it could be a real tough place to be working with a group of people who don't have a positive view of the future.
Mm-hmm. It's also a technological company. It's a tech company.
Tech company.
Yeah, the future is going to be tech.
Apple's a tech company.
Involved in some way. Yeah.
They're a tech company.
Of course.
Do you listen to your gut? Interesting. That's the intangible question.
Intuition.
Yeah, intuition. Do you have it? Do you have it? And if you do you listen to it? So anyway, there's a few interesting questions. It's become more and more vague, this process, as people have sort of focused on hiring around psychology, maybe the psychology of an individual, maybe more so than the skill set that they're bringing forth, because especially with a company like Apple, they probably feel, hey, over time we can really shape this individual or this individual will shape themselves given the access and opportunities within the company, but they must have the right psychology to fit in. And to be fair, this is not exclusive to Apple. Many tech companies, as you mentioned, have adopted these new approaches to the interview process, as well as just the way they operate in general. that there's a philosophical component, a psychological component, which seems to be high up that list now.
Yeah.
Maybe even above whether or not a person brings a tremendous amount of experience, for example. And those are things you can control. Your psychology, you can control. I mean, to a certain extent, some people, it's more difficult. They may have to work harder to control those aspects, but it is available to you. It's inside of you somewhere.
Yes.
Your own personal philosophy lives deep in your loins there, Will.
Right in there.
Anyway, this one, holy moly, the hottest Lou later clip of all time about, maybe not all time, I don't know. I was talking about, well, I was trying to bring light to the cost, the real cost of an iPhone around the world, well, specifically in India, because it's just so crazy what's going on with iPhone in India. And so I had to put the clip out, iPhone pricing in India, and I did the conversions. And look, it's not all Apple. There are tariffs. There are various components that are a part of that eventual sale price, but it doesn't change. That doesn't matter to the end user, to the customer. The customer is sitting there comparing these phones, picking what they want, and they're left to deal with this intimidating price tag. My God.
Yes.
It seems so strange. It seems hard to wrap your head around. Of course, it's totally possible with all these extended costs that you would pay the most for a smartphone in a place where people have the least discretionary spending comparative to the other places in which, as far as the average person's the individual bottom line, the cost of the iPhone would represent a far lower number. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm going around. It's a roundabout way to get there, but ultimately what I'm trying to say is it's going to take a person in India a really long time to afford to buy one of those stinking iPhones. And it would take a long time, even if it was priced just equivalent with the USD but then you almost double it, and you kind of almost get to a point of a place of resentment. You almost get to the point of feeling offended, which is the reason that clip took off. And look, I'm not saying people should be offended. I actually was trying to bring light to the fact that there's a lot of different pieces that go into that pricing. And it's well understood that these Apple products are expensive products. We know that. But as far as the extra stuff on top of that, there's a variety of components that go into it. I'm not saying I like it either, for the record. I'm just saying there's a little more to the story that goes into it. And I'm just going to soften the blow a little bit by just saying that at least, particularly in India, where other manufacturers have been increasingly aggressive, at least there's other options which are truly good, which are properly good. So at least we have that to rest on a little bit. But anyways, we have an update to this story because I have this article here, India Today. iPhone 12 Pro is so expensive in India that you can fly to Dubai to buy it, come back, and still save money. Whoa.
That's not a good look.
Whoa. Now, it's not a far flight to go to Dubai.
But it would be a mini vacation as well, which is great.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, you get nothing included in your package. You'd be paying for that.
I hear you.
But it just goes to show you, if you knew you could do that, it's even more offensive there. So the imaginary line and the various borders, but then you get into the realm of politics and everything else. But this was mind-blowing to me because, I mean, I don't know what the flight is worth. Did they tell us what the flight is worth here?
They do, yeah.
The flight is worth $18,000 return. 18,000 RS 18,000. Is that right? Oh, you have something cheaper. Oh my God, you got 8,000?
Well, I mean, smart value flights.
Oh, you took a value flight.
This is a screenshot from the article.
Wow, all right.
The author searched.
So Will's taking a value flight. It's 3 hours 45 minutes, and he's got it at around between 8 and 9,000 RS. So anyway, the point being is the math works. You can actually do it, and the math actually works, and you've saved money doing this elaborate, bizarre thing. Money. Oh, you've saved 8,000. You've saved exactly 8,000 RS, so that it's not nothing.
Yeah.
And he even put in some other expenses. so you catch a meal while you're there.
Yeah. I mean, you have to. Come on. Have some fun.
Oh my
Enjoy
God.
a meal.
Oh my God. So look, if I'm there, I'm aggravated. Certainly, I'm aggravated. I totally feel the point of the aggravation. However, I got to distribute that aggravation a little bit, or I got to look at it differently. Because if you remember, the entire point of the various tariffs that were being placed on brands that were not domestic, the entire point of it was to create incentives around building India domestically as a powerhouse for manufacturing and to assume some of the manufacturing role in devices just like these. And this was meant as a deterrent. These tariffs were meant as a deterrent for companies to import a completely completed product to sell to end users within India. And in some cases, it has worked. It has worked with companies like Samsung. It has worked with companies like Oppo and maybe even OnePlus. I don't know, but there's a increasingly, at least a portion of the assembly, which is the piece that's required, happens there domestically. And even Apple has sort of begun the process that they're not necessarily at scale where they're doing it for the latest models, which explains the price we're talking about here and the extra that's on there. But presumably, if these tactics work, that secondary piece, that amplification on the price provided by those restrictions, maybe that piece could take a hit in the future if Apple agrees. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the money, you're not buying a product, it's hurting everybody in that market, right? It's hurting the business that's trying to, So you would assume Apple would be working relatively rapidly to try to find a way to get around those extended costs.
Yeah, because it's expensive enough.
Expensive enough. Expensive enough is the right thing. So anyway, it's hard to talk about the subject without getting into the politics of the whole thing and the decision making of the whole thing. Because you could also argue, well, just open up the borders, let whoever wants to sell here, so then the customer gets the lower price. But in the scope of this show, we can't really get into all of that, and we certainly don't have the graph and the analysis in front of us to look at the various differences. One thing I can say for certain is any country, any nation is looking for meaningful employment and opportunity. And we do have some proof that these particular tactics have resulted in opportunity, in hiring of local people to create products for local people. There's some evidence of that.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, my goodness,
You get funny stories like these.
until Apple figures this out, this is, no wonder it's such a status symbol in India because of what it represents cost-wise. Netflix, speaking of India, Netflix is actually about to test a free weekend-long Netflix experience. Netflix for free. How about that for a marketing tactic?
I mean, it's already cheap there, right?
Very
But
cheap.
for free. That's obviously better.
Free is better. Free is always better. Well, you may recall, I don't know how long you've been on Netflix, but when it started, their customer acquisition concept was around a free trial, 30 days. It was a 30 days free, and then do whatever you want at the end. They got rid of that, obviously. They're not going to do it forever. Don't have to do it forever. But the thing is, since they got rid of that, and as things have evolved in the streaming market, you got these players came in, competition came in. You had the Disneys come in, and the Hulus came in, and the Amazons
Apple.
came in, and the Apple came in.
Yeah.
Who else came in there? I mean, there's others.
Yeah.
What is it? Peacock and no, I'm serious. That's an actual streaming service. Did I say Hulu? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
HBO.
Yeah.
Streaming. There's a lot of options, and so maybe in these, everybody's rushing. They're running to get to these new markets around the world to try to gather new customers because actually, Netflix, the growth isn't what they want it to be. In fact, what does it say here?
Because of the stiff competition?
Probably. Yeah, likely. Netflix plans to give users in India access to its service at no charge for a weekend as part of a test to expand its reach in the country. Yes. The streaming giant reported slow user growth for the quarter that ended in September. And that's not the norm for Netflix, right? They were flying for a while. They got Disney, Amazon, and in India they got a bunch of others, like local streaming services.
Do they?
This is their free sample. That's when you're at Costco, Will.
Oh, me.
Yeah, I know you don't get to go as much, but
Eating?
when you used to go there, you were always about the samples, remember?
Well, that's lunch. No, I'm joking. I like to test the samples.
Yeah, you're a big sample guy.
A great experience.
Well, actually, TNT, they don't do they used to do the samples too.
They used to, yeah.
They got rid of it because of the global pandemic.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Man, I remember when TNT first opened and I
Yeah.
took the kids. They loved that.
It's a whole experience.
With the samples.
Oh, yeah.
Samples make it so much fun. Samples are great.
Yeah.
I don't think a sample is ever a bad idea.
No.
Wow. Incredible. Anyway, so Netflix is jumping on the sample train by offering a free Netflix in India for a bit. Now, they may actually test this concept elsewhere. They're going to test it in that market first. They may test this concept out elsewhere. And in a weird way, it would get me thinking about Netflix again, because it would just be like, let's say I cancel my subscription for one of the other ones, or I just thought, hey, I don't watch it. And then Netflix, oh, it's free this weekend. And then I was like,
Yeah, let's see what's there.
let's see what's up. And then all of a sudden I get into a series and I can't watch all of it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I boot up that subscription again. So it's an interesting idea. Anyway, the plan you were talking about in India, it's a mobile only plan. It's like $2.50. So you're right. They're very aggressive over there. They're so aggressive, in fact, they partnered with Reliance Jio to actually pair or bundle Netflix with your telco contract for even less. So they're making moves, including a free trial for the sample types. I need to get in there and give it a shot. Sweden has jumped on the ban Huawei train.
Yeesh.
Ban Huawei, ban ZTE from 5G, officially calling China the biggest threat. Sweden is banning Chinese tech companies Huawei and ZTE from building new high-speed wireless networks after a top security official called China one of the country's biggest threats. Now, they're not the first to do this, man. We've covered this so many places. In fact, people have had to create maps and infographics to show where Huawei's banned and where it's not. And where it's banned is growing. It's getting bigger. And so that color code on the infograph keeps jumping up. The rivals of Huawei when it comes to 5G rollout, obviously you have Ericsson, which is a Swedish company, and you have Nokia, which is a Finnish company. That's quite nearby for these groups, right? If you're in Sweden, you might have some kind of incentive to say some things like this. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So here's the quote. Here's the quote from Swedish intelligence. China is one of the biggest threats to Sweden. The Chinese state is conducting cyber espionage to promote its own economic development and develop its military capabilities. This is done through extensive intelligence gathering and theft of technology, research, and development. This is what we must consider when building the 5G network of the future. So they also put in, of course, Huawei denied everything that was in that statement. They say there are no security risks. So got to put that piece in there too. They're also doing the part like the UK sort of did, which was, oh, by the way, if you've already started using this stuff, go get rid of it.
Yeah.
Which imagine that you're that company. Like, oh, God, really?
Infrastructure.
Go rip all that stuff out.
Yeah.
It's feels rough.
I just updated all the firmware.
Yeah, it's like these people got the 5G. I marketed the 5G. What am I doing? I gotta buy all this Ericsson and yeah, I just updated the firmware.
Sounds like a headache.
I just updated the firmware. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So anyway, they jump on the bandwagon. Wow.
That was a
How have I not said that yet about
Yeah,
Huawei banning? It seems so obvious.
That's a good one.
Sweden
Good job.
jumps on the Huawei bandwagon, but not bandwagon. The bandwagon.
The bandwagon.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Did you know Bitcoin is booming? You
Is
big
it?
Bitcoin guy, Will?
Not really,
Yeah, not really.
but
Actually,
it's
biggest
interesting.
chunk of Bitcoin I had, I misplaced it.
Yeah. You should tell the story.
No, I don't know. I mean, there's not
not?
much to the story. It's just misplaced.
Oh,
Bitcoin is up $400 today. At this point, the point we're filming this, 12,296. PayPal has received a conditional bit license from the New York State Department of Financial Services and will launch a service for users to be able to buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrency. PayPal. You ever heard of PayPal?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
I use it all the time.
Yeah, it's a big deal. So now if right in your PayPal account, you can just keep, hold, buy. The company is introducing the ability to buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrencies.
I feel like this is done before.
Coinbase.
Yeah.
Yeah, but PayPal is a brand that the general public is comfortable with, and they already have the accounts.
Right.
And they already have the funds, and they already have the bank account attached.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as much extra work for people who have been, that Bitcoin, and then they're like me, where would my wallet be right now if I had chucked all those Bitcoins over there?
Man,
I probably had 20 Bitcoin.
that's a big chunk of change right now. I mean, can't believe it.
I prefer the story anyways.
Yeah, it's a fun story.
Anyway, it's not just Bitcoin. If initially they're going to feature Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin. I didn't think they'd have the altcoins as well in there, so that's kind of cool. The service will be available to PayPal account holders in the U.S. in the coming weeks. Here's a quote from the CEO of PayPal. The shift to digital forms of currency is inevitable, bringing with it clear advantages in terms of financial inclusion and access, efficiency, speed, and resilience of payment system, and the ability for governments to disperse funds to citizens quickly. Our global reach, digital payments expertise, and so forth are the reason this is a big deal. I agree with him. Will. PayPal is uniquely poised to push the Bitcoin agenda. And so I understand why it's up, and I understand why PayPal is excited about it. So the Bitcoin boys can celebrate. It's getting more real every day, doing things with Bitcoin. GMC showed off that new Hummer EV, 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, very fast, and no longer a gas guzzler.
Oh.
I mean, it's just it's an electric vehicle, and they said they sold out of the Edition 1 launch. They had been really, they were teasing it for a long period of time, barely showing you anything. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And now they just come out and say, oh, yeah, no, there it is. There it is. And I don't know. How do you feel about the look, Will? Let's get your feedback. You've seen the other electric trucks. Now you have the Hummer. This is like a big one. It looks like a real off-road type of thing. Mm-hmm. You want to talk, though, so the floor is yours.
I was just going to say, I mean, between the Rivian, the Cybertruck, and the Hummer, oh, man, I really like it. I like it.
Oh, I thought you were going the other way.
No. I think the wide body is just like a really mean shape. And
there's another image, actually, if you scroll down, which really shows how jacked up it is on the side. If you see it in the rock crawl when it's like fully elevated, look at the shocks.
Yeah.
Look how high up that thing is.
Yeah. It's a look for sure. Now
it's big. It's big. You gotta have a place to park this thing, Will.
Yeah, they need bigger wheels for this one. It looks kind of weird with what is this?
Well, bigger tires. Well, the thing about this is I don't know if that is a setting in the car. I don't think it rides that high always. They put on some sort of rock crawl mode. It wouldn't be like that all the time. It would be a more typical.
So right now the suspension is just elevated.
Yeah, it would have a more regular stance most of the time.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm undecided. I love the interior screen. I'm really excited for because I saw the Unreal stuff. Epic Games is doing the infotainment on the Hummer. Am I right? Am I remembering the right story? So if that's the case, because I hate all the infotainment systems for the most part, if Epic's doing the infotainment on this vehicle, it's going to be a fun, responsive infotainment.
Yeah, with 3D graphics.
I'm very excited to
Fortnite.
see how it built on Unreal, right?
Yeah,
Built on Unreal. So I'm excited about the interior. The exterior, I have to see it in real life. It may just look a little more plasticky.
Okay.
Is that fair? I don't know. Maybe on the front end. Let's see. The back end is okay. What is that grill? Is that all a light?
It looks like they're all LEDs.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna just put a pause on my judgment for now. I'm gonna look at it. Compare this. It's obviously not a Cybertruck, but it is futuristic looking. But it is meaner than the Rivian.
Yes.
It's very mean if you're looking for mean.
Yes.
But so is the Cybertruck. So anyway, the Hummer has been gone for a really long time. It comes back in electric form. It's a very high performance vehicle. I don't know. They're calling it a super truck, whatever. It is expensive, $113,000. So that's something to mention, by the way. You were comparing to Cybertruck starts a lot lower than that.
What, at 35,000?
No, was it that
I think
low?
so. The low, like single motor.
No, I don't think it was 35. Was it?
Okay, I gotta check.
I think it was 45. 45, 55, 69, something like that for the 3 trims. Oh no, you're right. 40, 50, or 70.
40,000.
Yeah, 40, 50, or 70. Either way, all of them way less than what they're charging for the Hummer. So that's an interesting choice, the price point. I'm not sure where Rivian's going to line up comparatively. Now, there will be cheaper models that come out later, but a lot are having this technique now, Will, where they launch with the most expensive version. By the way, it looks like it has the dual tailgate, which I had on a previous GM truck. That's kind of cool. It creates a step. I'm assuming that's what that one is also. This is a GM product at the end of the day. So, so they will have cheaper models eventually. The edition one is how they're gonna roll out at $113,000. Eventually, they'll get as low as $79,995 for models that are coming in the spring of 2023.
Wow.
God, that's a long way away to get a deal on one of these. But they say the edition one sold out within 10 minutes. They're taking $100 deposits, taking a page from Tesla on a Cybertruck. I think that was $100 too, or was that $500? I don't remember. I did it. I did the deposit.
Yeah, I think it was what
Look how the roof comes off the whole thing. Show that image. Oh, that's it.
That's cool, right?
That's an edge. That's a bit of an edge. You can't do that with the Cybertruck. Can't
and
take
then this looks like a truck.
But that's not real. Is that real? No, that's not real.
It looks like it.
I don't think that's real. No, that's a concept. That's real. That's what it ended up looking like. Look at the tires on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. It's mean. Maybe we'll get in a new studio when they can send us a unit, and we'll get in a new studio. We'll compare it to these other ones. Who knows? Maybe they'll bring one by. 1,000 horsepower, 0 to 60 acceleration in 3 seconds, 11,500 pound-feet of torque. Wow, incredible. This story you want me to talk about? It was making some headlines. You know, there was the rumor going on for a long time that Kanye West was going to go on Joe Rogan, and I think when it first started getting talked about, it seemed like it was going to happen fast. Because with Kanye, it's kind of, it's a tweet and then it's like, and it happens. And so I feel like it was being talked about a long time ago now, and it seemed like it was going to happen, and then it got shut down because I don't know, was it the
PR?
I don't know if it was PR, but it was also right around the time that he was kind of a little bit more frantic. Would that be fair to say? When he went into TMZ, and it was all happening at that same moment.
Yeah.
He had the red hat. He was wearing the Trump hat, and it was in that same region. And so I don't know who shut it down or how it got shut down, but it got shut down. And then it didn't get addressed for a while. Then it started bubbling back up that he was going to go on this week.
Yes.
This week. And you were even saying swear words when the news broke. You looked at me
bummed,
and
genuinely.
you swore straight at me in my direction.
Yeah, I did.
And that never happens with Will. So Will really was looking forward
Very
to this.
loudly too.
And I was looking forward to this too, because I like the format, the conversational format. You sit down, you talk. Whatever happens, this is how it goes.
A 3-hour conversation.
2 people talking. There's no rules. There's no agenda. You don't have to have any. I've been on the show. You don't have to have points. You don't have to be promoting anything. It's not like traditional media like that. You can just go on and actually have a conversation. So that would have been cool to see those two personalities in that environment. And I think a lot of people are looking forward to it, which is why we have all these stories, because at the beginning of maybe midway through last week, I don't know when it happened, Kanye shares screenshots of a FaceTime call between himself and Joe, and now it's saying, I'm going on next week. He puts those on social media, and the fans got all fired up. And then we get an update, I guess it was yesterday. Yeah, we got an update yesterday from Joe that Jamie, the producer of the show, the switcher, basically you, test positive for COVID, and the entire show is shut down. Now, Joe did not test positive for COVID, but of course you can't do the show. You can't. I mean, maybe you could find a way, whether you get somebody else to take that chair, or if he is maybe switching remotely, or in a different room. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But some other points, the COVID that Jamie has, he appears to get over it in about a weekend. Based on what Joe says here, he's feeling better. So shout out, Jamie. Glad you're feeling half decent. You seem to have a mild version of this thing, which seems like, at least based on what Joe says here. I don't think that the appearance is necessarily over. I don't think it's necessarily dead. It feels to me like they both really want to make this happen, and there's plenty of time to make it happen. Now, I know it's busy schedules and all the rest of it. I realize. But I think that this is a thing that should happen.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And if people are yelling right now, they're saying, why are you going to give, this is madness. What are these? That's why, man. This is the beauty of it. It doesn't lie. 3 hours doesn't lie. That's the beauty of, no matter what you saw, no matter what you think, the truest form of it, the best case scenario for your potential to judge, if you do want to pass judgment, is post 3 hours. It's after it happened.
Yeah.
You think you know all these people.
Everyone's naked at that point.
You think because you see headlines and you read tweets, you think you know, but you don't. Even 3 hours, you still don't know. It's not the type of exposure you have to people in your personal life who you do get to know. But it's about as close as you can do.
Yeah. I mean, you and I talk about it all the time. When the cameras are on, there is some sort of performance, right?
Yes.
You do feel like you have to do something.
You feel it less and less the more you do it, though.
Of course, yeah.
I think it's just, I'm not a fan of the idea in general, in most of the time, the idea of the platform thing. Like, why are you giving a person a platform? I realize there are always going to be exceptions to the rule. Criminals, people who purely, things like this, evil and things. If two people feel that they want to have a conversation for 3 hours and everyone else can then watch and be the judge of it, I don't want to get in. I don't want to have an opinion before that. I'd like to let that happen. Let the voice be used.
Yeah.
Conversation. I mean, conversation, man, is such an important tool in community and collaboration.
Sharing of ideas.
It's you want to support and uphold communication. You want to keep it as, you want the opportunities for more of it to exist in as many places as possible.
Yes.
And I've obviously spoken many times about how Joe has done that with his podcast. How he has created a spot where that can happen. And it's fairly unique somehow. Still, to this day, it's fairly unique. The unformatted nature of it and the type of guests that are attracted to it and the variety of information and the variety of viewpoints that don't seem to be, invited to all the various other platforms all the time, which they may have a more controlled type of access for who gets to speak and who doesn't get to speak.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm still looking forward to it. It will be a wild conversation. I mean, it could be a lot of things. I don't want to have the expectations too high, obviously. But it just seems to me that it's an interesting 2020 culmination. Kanye West on Rogan is, I'm looking forward to it. That's it.
Yeah. And shout out to Jamie. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you do great work. Hopefully you feel better.
Oh, Will's a Jamie fan.
Yeah.
Will's a Jamie fan. So am I, definitely. Jamie's been very nice to me in the past. AOC plays Among Us on Twitch, sparking one of the most watched streams ever.
Yeah.
This number shocked me. 439,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch. This is the congresswoman.
Potentially the vice president.
She's relatively young as far as congresswomen are concerned.
Yeah, I want to get that straight though.
What do you the age? You're going to take a guess at it? Wow. 30. 30.
30?
I was close.
You're right. Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah, you're very close.
30. What?
I thought she was like late 30s.
Oh.
Or like early 40s.
Easy, dude.
Well, I mean.
She's playing Among Us and she's into gaming. In fact, I read this article and she where is it here? She is apparently a silver rank in League of Legends. I don't know how good that is. I don't play League of Legends, but apparently she's a gamer. She's into gaming. She teamed up with some other high-profile streamers, so she didn't do it on her own, which is fine. That's what you should do. So she got on there with Pokimane and Hasanabi, and they put up numbers similar to what Drake and Ninja did.
Wow.
Playing Among Us. Now, Among Us is a hot title right now. Holy jeez.
Have you played it?
No, I have not. But I understand the concept of the game. Actually, Vin likes games like that normally. Those like who done it type of games. Yeah. So he would probably like it, but I doubt he's played it. But anyways, they were streaming, and the whole point of the stream was to yell at you for voting, as usual. Everyone's telling you got to vote right now, Will. And so every so often, they would interrupt the programming, and this is what you told me. And then they would interrupt the programming and then tell you to vote. Is that how it went? Well,
a little bit. But I'm starting to see the correlation now. It's like, Among Us is about voting, too. It's about voting who's the imposter.
Whoa, that's deep.
All right?
That's deep.
That's
well done.
Interesting. It's a very appropriate game.
It's almost as good as my bandwagon from earlier.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. She's not the first politician to stream on Twitch, apparently, as well. She just pulled huge numbers. I think from a tactical perspective, by teaming with the high-profile streamers, that helped out, and having a really hot game to play, like you said, with the tie-in, with the voting. And the election coming up, I guess it all worked out. She had amassed 422,000. She surged past other high-profile politicians, including Senator Bernie Sanders and President Donald Trump, I guess they had used the platform in the past. I'm not sure. Sanders has 158,000 followers, and Trump has 143,000 followers. She is up to 289,000 followers. Though I think if you click on her profile right now, I think it's even higher than that. If you her Twitch profile. But anyway, this is some futuristic stuff, man. Campaigning by playing games on Twitch, and pulling numbers.
Yeah,
that's the future. Whoa, it's so weird. You could be having rallies inside of Twitch.
Oh wow, she got a lot more now.
Yeah, 618,000 followers. She's gonna pull a mill on Twitch, and I'm going to just say this. This was a weird experience I had. I clicked on the video, and she seemed pretty comfortable for somebody who hasn't streamed on Twitch. She just seemed pretty casual about it.
Yeah.
So Anyway, interesting tactics and pulling numbers on Twitch with the vote message. Oh, man. Okay, we're into the fun part of the show now.
Okay.
None of that was fun.
All right. Yeah.
Now it's fun time. You won't believe this hungover Toronto woman's McDonald's delivery order. You won't believe it, Will.
Yeah. Well, I
listen up.
Yeah.
Here's the order. To cure the hangover, needs a burger. 1 hamburger, no regular bun, no mustard, no onion, no pickles, no patty. Do you know what's left over, Will?
Well, just the ketchup, right?
Just ketchup. They did the delivery. It's 2 packets of ketchup because this person was so used to clicking no for everything that they actually clicked no unintentionally on the patty and the bun. They wanted a hamburger with just ketchup, but they were hungover, not thinking straight, clicked no across the board except for ketchup.
And it was fulfilled.
Yeah. And they got 2 packets of ketchup when they were expecting a hamburger. And it happened here in Toronto. Can you imagine that, Will?
Well, I mean,
how upset would you be? You thought you had a burger and then you have 2 packets of ketchup that show up? I mean, that's pretty rude.
Yeah.
However, shout out to the customization level on the order.
Oh, yeah.
No. Add. What would your hamburger have on it, Will?
3 patties.
3?
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
I mean, it would.
The opposite of her, no patty.
Yeah. And just, I like a
now,
good,
let me ask you
hamburger.
something.
Yeah.
If you are working at McDonald's and you get this order,
yeah,
is it rude to fulfill it? Should you not assume that it's wrong? The person paid for a hamburger and got 2 ketchup packets.
It was probably wrong or a big troll. Like they're just messing and see what they can get,
Interesting.
get away with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what the protocol is for the delivery service. If there is a screw up, who calls who and who does what. So for me, it's interesting the fact that it was fulfilled. I agree with you. If it's a troll, fine. Here you go. Here's your ketchup. But since we know it's not a troll, what should the protocol be here? If someone orders this, do you really think is it possible that this is their order?
It's hard to say because you would think even beforehand, the designers of the app would kind of understand, like, you can't really do this.
Interesting. So
you would depend on the designer. At least I do.
Of the app, the software developer.
Yeah. Because I was a UX designer and you would have
easy
scenarios.
Easy. Holy moly.
Well,
you were
UX. But oftentimes they would have like these
that's called flexing,
use cases.
That was flexing.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that, but
that's what the kids say. Okay, so you wouldn't allow somebody to say no to this configuration of goods. Like what would they need to have one of? A bun or a patty for it to be a burger?
Yeah.
What? Which one?
Bun or the patty?
Yes.
I would say the patty is more important.
But what if a person wants a bun with mustard, onion, pickles, ketchup?
Well, it wouldn't be like a hamburger. It would be a separate item. It wouldn't say hamburger. It would say like miscellaneous menu or something that they can order that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the patty is non-negotiable. You shouldn't be able to have no patty.
Yeah. I think that's the most important item in a hamburger.
Cool.
If you order a hamburger.
Interesting. So this order could have been a patty and 2 ketchup packets, and you'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think I agree with you. I think we just fixed it.
Okay.
You shouldn't be able to extract the patty from a burger. Maybe someone's going to disagree with us in some circumstance. I bet you there's people out there that order a Big Mac, no beef.
Yeah,
They.
it's just three slices of bread.
I'm saying it's been done. I'm just saying it's
Hey,
probably.
oh yeah, I do have a story. I ordered a hamburger without the patty once.
This is you.
But I went in to order. I was like, hey, I have like a burger cooking in the grill at my place. I just need some buns.
Oh, you actually wanted it.
Yeah. And it was like I couldn't go to the store because like I have to buy like an 8-pack or something.
This
So
is
I had to get,
insane. This is
just buns.
insane.
So I went to McDonald's to get just 2 buns.
That is you put your
Why
own.
is that ridiculous?
You put your own beef on McDonald's buns.
I did because I didn't want to buy 8-pack at the superstore.
This is incredible.
Well,
I love this story.
And then they were just like, they charged me a regular hamburger, right? And without the patty.
So you only got the bun? Were there any other toppings?
They asked for something like other stuff.
You had
like
no other
mustard
toppings?
And yeah, I was like, no, just give me the buns.
Just the buns. This is, wow.
Riveting?
Yes. I don't think that gets done that often, man.
No, it's probably not done very often.
No, and I wonder if it's offensive. You're like, no, I'll be adding the beef to that. Thank you very
They
much.
slap a patty at me.
I'd like to add my own beef. It's cooking at home.
Yeah.
Give me the bun. I came for the bun. Wow. It's incredible. Sticking with the fast food for a minute, we have a special edition Xbox Series X. We talked about how Burger King was giving away some PlayStation 5s. Well, of course, Microsoft wanted to take part in something similar, and so did KFC because they're, I guess it's their competition. So they collaborate with Xbox Series X in the UK, and they're giving away an Xbox Series X console every day to lucky participants in the country. Now, what's special about this one is the controller that they're showing off as a consolation prize or some sort of a second place prize. And this is, it's quite the look. I mean, you've got Colonel Sanders, you've got the KFC bucket upside down and not upside down. And then you have pieces of chicken. You have the red and the white coloring. Now, I understand it's hideous, right? I understand that the controller is hideous. However, from a collector standpoint, from a conversation starter standpoint, if you won this, I won the KFC Xbox. Is that cool at all? I don't know.
Could be memorabilia.
Yeah, there's only going to be so many of them. So let's see. You have this now makes quite a few contests because it's actually not just Burger King. Burger King's doing PlayStation 5. KFC in the UK is doing Xbox Series X. And Taco Bell is also doing an Xbox Series X giveaway. So the fast food companies are loving the consoles. They're looking at it as a big opportunity to get the promotions going, people in the store for their chance to win. Actually, KFC has done special editions in the past. Actually, they worked with Huawei at one time to release a limited edition version of a phone. That's pretty incredible. But an unlikely collaboration, maybe a likely collaboration resulting in a hideous controller child. However, I wouldn't mind it because I think it would be cool and different. But it's definitely... how does KFC make a controller that isn't hideous? I mean, they kind of have to have fun with it.
Yeah.
It's chicken. What are you going to...
Yeah.
Here's another Willie Doo story. Oh, man. Teenager finally achieves her dream of dating Godzilla. I just have to let that one sit there for a moment because when you hear it, the headline. Hopefully, I mean, if you're just listening to this right now, you're like, wait, what?
There's pictures.
Teenager finally achieves her dream of dating Godzilla. Yes, we have pictures, video, and GIFs. This is coming via Kotaku. This is I believe she's 13 years old. She is obsessed with Godzilla. She has a bunch of statues and various memorabilia. And so she wrote to a local television show asking to go on a date with Godzilla, which was her dream. She is a junior high school student. She was at her family home, and Godzilla showed up for an actual date, which
did.
they had. And her grandfather went along on the date to chaperone, and they had lunch together. It's a man in a suit, Will.
Is it really?
Yeah. It's not actually Godzilla. It's a man in a
Fooled me.
costume. Imagine being the guy hired to be in that costume all day on the fake date. What a weird experience.
Yeah.
Way weirder for him than for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it an adult? She's 13.
Yeah.
It's an adult. Are you mad at my analysis? I just have to think about these things.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's probably a professional. Or
Yes.
whoever's inside. A girl, a guy.
A professional
Maybe
what?
amusement park.
Right.
Maybe they dress up as Godzilla or another mascot in that case, just to have experience.
It is a fairly detailed type of suit that he's wearing there. She seems to have loved it. She gave him a kiss at the end as well. She gave Godzilla a kiss at
Under the sunset.
Yeah. It's a very, very strange. Could the whole thing be fake?
Probably.
It could be.
Yeah.
But I mean,
based on her collection, I mean, it's
you got Vin's attention over there, Will.
apparently she has a big collection.
Yeah, but you could set all that up. I don't know. I guess it's possible. Look, it's possible. Anything is possible. There's a lot of people on the planet. Vin says you got to put an end to the relationship, though, because it can't continue.
Yeah.
Well, obviously it can't continue. It's not Godzilla. It's a man in a suit, Vin. So it obviously can't continue. But, well, whatever it takes. I mean, it looks like they had a fun day, so I don't know. Whatever. Everybody's happy about it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I got just one for you, Will. Huge cat found etched into desert. Into desert.
Well,
Wait, stop reading. What do you think about that?
what do I think about it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Just
Like,
what
just
is it?
thoughts?
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Someone was bored. He just decided to draw a cat.
What if I were to tell you that cat is from 200 BC?
Oh. Oh yeah, I didn't read this part. The subheading.
Wow. That cat is from 200 BC? That's crazy. This is an area in Peru where they have found all kinds of drawings in these lines, Nazca lines. And this is just the most recent one, which is almost completely eroded, and then they fixed it up. But they used to do this as a form of art in, a long time, 200 or 100 BC.
And it's a big etching.
Huge.
Yeah.
So they're
of a
called
hill.
geoglyphs. And also in the area, there's a hummingbird, a monkey, an orca, and a figure that some believe is an astronaut, which that's a cool idea. Imagine if it was actually an astronaut drawing from 200 BC. Now you got to ask some questions. Willie Doo starts going down the rabbit hole. Is the meme? Is the Illuminati? Everything.
2001.
Yeah, everything happens after that. So anyway, this thing was wearing away, and then they brushed a few things aside, and they were like, oh my God, there's an engraving here. We got to protect this, put the fence around it and everything else, because this one we didn't even see, which is this giant cat, which is, what's the scale of it? It said somewhere what the scale of it was.
Like it's on the side of a hill. That's how big it is.
Yeah, it's the size of the side of a hill, but I thought it said how long it was somewhere. Anyway, it's enormous. And they're on the coastal plain. They're 250 miles south of Lima and cover 450 square kilometers of Peru's coastal plain. The figure was scarcely visible and was about to disappear because of the steep slope that it was situated on. They cleaned it up, conserved it. The cat is 37 meters long.
Wow.
37 meters long. It's so wild. So they've got, I don't know, they've got like between 80 and 100 figures now. People were just out there doing art. Well, we'll do art.
Yes.
And it's amazing, man. It looks like my drawing. If you ask me to draw a cat, it will look exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
Yeah.
If you ask me to draw a cat right now, that's what it would look like. If I had a limited amount of time and I could do it on paper instead of the side of a mountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it would look like.
It's very symbolic.
Although I wonder maybe we should do a quick little investigation here.
Okay.
What is that cat? Which cat is it?
What cat? Maybe a mountain lion?
Peru 200 BC. Which cat? What cats live? Oh, there you go. Wait, those are domesticated cats. Did they have domesticated cats in 200 BC? No. I don't know. Maybe. A leopard?
Leopard.
It doesn't look very jungly over there. Big cats that live in Peru. Ocelot, margay, jaguar, cougar. Cougar. Probably a cougar.
Oh.
I think you might have nailed it, Will, on your first go. You think so? Yeah, puma.
Puma. Oh.
Willie do. I think it might be. I mean, it could be a jaguar too, because you're not going to do all the spots and everything.
Yeah.
And also the ears look more cougar-y.
Yeah, with the pointed up.
Man, imagine a guy like you, 200 BC, and you encounter a puma, a cougar. Rough times, man.
Oh,
you're going to draw it as a warning for everyone else.
Yeah, while it's eating me.
You keep an eye out for this thing. This is a rough time. I'm going to draw it on the side of the mountain real quick.
Yeah, it's tough.